Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Always, and welcome back to Stoneblock 3. In the last episode, we were working with Project E, and we made the Philosopher's Stone as well as a basic energy collector Mark 1. Unfortunately, in order to get the things I want, which is dark matter and then red matter, this thing isn't going to help us. So, we need to make more stuff. And so, between episodes, not only did I go mine out a bunch of crushed netherrack, which, by the way, in the nether area, if you dig downwards, so in the cave, we're going to call this the overworld area, cave area, whatever. We have all this stone, and then if we dig down, we eventually get to andesite, and then below that is deep slate. Well, in the nether area, if you dig down, you get to nether bricks. So I have a bunch of nether bricks because I wanted to see what was underneath them. And yeah, we have a ton of crushed netherrack. I literally just took a bunch of whatchamacallits, the hammers, just straight to the area, and yeah, got a bunch of crushed netherrack. Now, we're gonna probably end up doing something with this netherite scrap, which is duplicating it with EMC. But for right now, we're not going to worry about that. So, what's the plan for today? Well, I also, between episodes, made it so I can go in here and I can say, make me an alchemical chest, and it will craft everything we need. Now, there's a little bit of a problem for that, namely that our covalence dust is not part of the filter to get sucked up automatically in here, so it's just gonna sit there. We are going to go ahead and put it in the filter, but this is going to be perfectly fine. And I guess we'll just put this back in manually. Don't really know what else to do with it, but yeah, so we can make alchemical chests on demand. I already had another piece of netherite scrap in there, so that should... doesn't know that it got the items. That should make this pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and craft it. We get the alchemical chest, and we are going to need another one of those later. So we're gonna worry about that when we get there. But we need to put one, two, a furnace, piece of glass, and a diamond block in there, and that will give us the energy collector, Mark 1. And then we can put a piece of dark matter and 4 glowstone, and that will give us the Mark 2. Now, these do work differently. I'll set it down in a moment, and you'll see kind of how it works. And this is going to be a temporary thing, so we're just going to set it right here. So you can see it has a little bit of light. Now, I always believe this. I don't know if it's actually true, but if we put glowstone above it, it fully fills up. And now it will produce EMC. Now, I did have, from our adventures, I was sorting through the chests. Obviously, I cleaned this out finally. I don't know if this has any of it. Doesn't look like it. Something, by the way, that I'm going to probably do in the coming episodes is move this. I don't like this where it's at because it is almost full. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a room down below here. We're going to put an elevator. And then I'm going to make sure to hook this up to the main system. I'm going to get a lot of void upgrades and that kind of stuff. But we're gonna try to store all of our stuff that we're getting in. But anyways, I did find some more alchemical coal, Mobius fuel, H&L's fuel, all of the goodies. And the neat thing we can do is if we put alchemical coal in here, is that the right way it's supposed to go? Hold up. So if we look at collector fuel upgrades, this entire recipe. So I put alchemical coal. It turned into a block of red. Okay, it went very quick. It turned into a block of redstone, and then blaze powder, and then block of coal. And now once it has 384 EMC, it turned into glowstone. And it will slowly very slowly continue on that path. I wish I could like see the recipes a little bit easier. So once it gets 512, it will turn into Mobius fuel, and then it will turn into alchemical coal blocks, and then Aeternalis fuel, and then eventually Aeternalis fuel blocks. Then, I guess we're going to have to manually make dark matter. So we get a bunch of Aeternalis fuel from this, and we can make the dark matter with diamond blocks. And then we can, so if we do 1, 2, 3, put all of this Aeternalis fuel, it's not quite enough, put all the Mobius fuel in there, and we'll wait for a little bit. It will do one at a time, and even this Aeternalis fuel will turn into Mobius fuel blocks, and then we can basically turn things into better things. And then we get the dark matter, and then from there we can take 3 dark matter and get 1. So we're gonna wait for, I'm gonna have to wait for a while, I'll be honest. What is the best way? Glowstone. Glowstone is kind of the best way to do all this. So we're gonna take, like, let's see, I have 5 Aeternalis fuel. We need 8 more. Well, we need 3 more for our first red matter, and then we're gonna need 48. We're gonna need a lot. So I'm gonna get like a stack of glowstone, and you know what? I think I might just jump in. So this will just kind of go, and honestly, we can power up the Aeternalis fuel, and if we take this out, it doesn't really matter. It is gonna turn the glowstone into other things, but we can just put stuff in here and it will just kind of process off to the side as we do other things. So I really want to get the energy condenser, and part of that is going to be getting dark matter, netherite scrap, red matter, and then eventually more and more matter. We're gonna get a lot of stuff, and we can just duplicate it all. I think for now, my rule is going to be I can only duplicate with EMC nether stars, which I don't think I have any more wither skulls. If we do, we could go murder a wither real quick. No. That's also why I want to kind of hook that up to the system. And this is full currently. So I think I'm gonna work on this off camera. While I'm waiting for all of the Aeternalis fuel that we need. So 1 block gives us 1 dark matter plus a little. So we get like, I don't know, a few blocks and we'll be fine. So I'm just going to let this go and process for a bit. In fact, I'm going to take most of the stuff out for right now. And yeah, we can always do things to make things a little bit easier. So see, we're going to need, for the energy condenser, I am going to need another alchemical chest, which I can get pretty easily now. In fact, if I have 3. We're going to need to, I'm going to also kind of fill this up with crushed netherrack. Unfortunately, I can't put it into the drawer because the auto hammer is in the way. But, yeah, we'll kind of do something with this, and I think what I'm going to actually do for now, we're going to put all the gravel in there, and I want all crushed netherrack, and I guess the deep slate can set for a bit, but I want to just get some more ancient debris, so I'm going to get another alchemical chest. I think I'm going to start working on getting this stored up. And one thing we'll have to do is just get another external storage and pipe it in right over here. That would be just fine. We'll just bring a cable, external storage on there. But I'm going to bring this down, and I think what I'm going to do, can we just go straight down? And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One too many. And we'll just make a room. I have my hammer. We should be able to just do something like this. And believe that's a 5 by 5. Obviously I've got to get out of here. But we can just get a couple more elevators. Those are easy enough to make. And that should be close enough that I can like kind of encircle an entire room. We can get some more storage drawers, do some more of the compacting drawers, all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, it should be pretty easy to just get some elevators and go down there. I need more white wool. I think it was 5. So yeah, that will just be kind of our storage, and this will eventually give us all of the H&L's fuel that we need. And right, we gotta do this, and voila, perfect. Okay, so I will get this stuff hooked up. We'll start getting all of this stuff stored up, and even the upgrades, the functional storage upgrades, will get stored. I do have a way to do that. It's going to be a pain, but I can do it. And it's just going to be a matter of, yeah, sorting through all of this stuff again. Alright, because there is still stuff that we haven't got. So, for example, we got one of the emerald budding crystals. That is something that we're going to need to kind of deal with. But anyways, I am going to wait around for this to get us all the H&L's fuel that we need. I'm going to do math so I know how much we need, because for the energy condenser, we need a red matter block. That is it. And 5 million FE, that is actually not bad. Red matter block is for red matter, and that is what, 12 dark matter in total? So we need 12 dark matter. Actually, there we go. When I have 12 dark matter, we can continue. So I will be back once we have that, and we'll get this energy condenser. Alright, so a little bit of a problem. So if we look at the Energy Collector Mark II, the maximum storage is 30,000, which is not more than 55,000 EMC, which is required to turn the Mobius fuel block into the H&L's fuel block. So it takes a lot longer, to be perfectly honest. So we're going to upgrade it to the Energy Collector Mark III, which also, for the record, wrong button, generates 40 EMC per tick versus 12. So that's what we're going to do. I've got stuff on my inventory, and let's go ahead and get this taken care of, and then we can do more stuff. So that is a quest completed. We're going to get another elytra. Okay. We'll just throw that away. By the way, I have cleaned this up completely. So our barrel is empty. We have so much storage down here, and there's even all of our functional storage stuff, and just there's a lot of storage left. I also have a external storage, and the priority is 25. Now the priority for this one is like 100 or 1,000, and the priority for this is 5. So what should happen is it should try to put things into this storage first, and then this storage. And so we're gonna just go ahead and hook that up. We should be able to start seeing a lot more items. I did get at least one more wither skull while I was working on all that. It's taken me some time, but we can see the wither skull. We can see the wither boss death mufflers, and I'm gonna start sorting through the inventory and getting things out. If there is something that has a lot of stuff, we'll do something with that. But let's go ahead and upgrade this energy collector. And it's a lot of power, but it's not too bad. And then I can show you my trick. To make things go faster, I can only do this for a little bit more time. And that's the temporal pouch, the sands of time, the grains of time, whatever you want to call it. So if we put this here, it's going to get some power. And we have a Mobius fuel block here. We can put that in there. We're also going to put all of this stuff, including, let's do the H&L's fuel. So if we just speed this up, you can see it goes considerably faster. It does require us to use like hours of our time, but we should be able to get the H&L's fuel blocks and then not have to worry about things. So all things considered, not a bad thing to do every once in a while, and we can get more and more H&L's fuel. So I need about 10 blocks of this, and then later we can do more things. So I can just do this again. Now eventually I will run out of time. That uses about 2 hours worth of actual time to do that, but it is considerably faster. So I can get a bunch of H&L's fuel, and if I can get about 10 of these, we can pretty easily get what we need. So let's see, how many is 5 going to do for us? Can we leave those in there? No, it is not one of those. We can get 5 more. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And we can just continue doing this. And in fact, we might be able to just finish this up. So if we can get 5 more of these, 3 more will give us most of what we need. We'll just need like 2 more. So there is 9 dark matter. We need 13. And that actually should be enough for everything we need. So, and no, it's not. Not quite. Getting close though. So now we have 12 dark matter. And then we can get a little bit. That is so close. We need 24. You know what we're going to do for the time being? We're going to take the Mobius fuel and our Philosopher's Stone, and we're going to make this last one the old-fashioned way. So, H&L's fuel is just 4 of these. Oh, that's 28. I thought I said 23. Okay, so this is 4 red matter, which we can then turn into a red matter block. And then we can go do things. So let's go ahead and throw some of this stuff in here. So we need, is it just 5 items to get the energy condenser? It is. And I have, I went ahead and made another alchemical chest, which, by the way, this alchemical bag, that is the same recipe basically. So the bag is the same size as the chest because it is just high covalence dust, the alchemical chest, and some wool. Real quick, let's do this so I don't forget to refill this full of the gravel, because that has caught up since we're not breaking down deep slate anymore. But anyways, let's get ahead and get all this stuff taken care of. I was actually planning on cutting again, but what am I doing? The temporal pouch is so awesome, and this is going to take a little bit of time. It does require 5 million FE. We do have more than enough, and the neat thing is once we make 2 of these, we can actually duplicate them. Alchemical chests, or not the alchemical chests. The alchemical chests are also EMCable, but the energy condenser is very much EMCable. So there's that. Sigil of the Frozen Lake. That's a new one to me. Okay. So let's make things a lot better for us. So if I break this, which I don't want to quite yet, let's put one of these in there. And let's talk about the energy condenser. So we're going to put this down. And this is the energy condenser's inventory. Let's take some netherite scrap. Netherite scrap is great, right? And let's take something that has a decent amount of EMC, like some Mobius fuel blocks. We throw these in there, and it changes all of those into netherite scrap. So now we have infinite netherite scrap. Once we have a nether star, which was going to require a couple more wither skeleton skulls, we can make infinite nether stars. So the netherite scrap, the nether star, and then Project E stuff is kind of like what I'm allowing myself to use this for now. Later on down the line, we might do a lot more with everything else. Also, it feels laggy. It is. It's probably because of the mob farm. This thing is currently running. Let's go turn it off. Oh yeah, it's because this is backed up. Oof. What has turtle helmet? Really? That's a new one, obviously. But that's not one I've expected to see. Fuzzy mode, save. And it can just stay at the bottom. Okay. So this will eventually clean itself up. And that's why it was lagging. Happens. If I don't get all the items to the trash can, that's what happens. Anyways. So the energy condenser is also going to allow us to do a couple other things. We could make more Aeternalis fuel. In fact, this thing, we don't need it. Not in the form that it currently is. Are we ever going to need Aeternalis fuel as is? Yes. So let's make sure we keep this. So this chest is specifically going to be for things to duplicate in the future. So if we want another Philosopher's Stone, we can do that. I don't need the Philosopher's Stone right now. So we have some energy collectors. So we have an MK3, which we can turn into a red energy collector. This one, I mean, we are going to need to duplicate some of this stuff, but let's go ahead and turn this one into a MK3. Why? Well, we can put something in there, and now we can put, say, this, and it will start producing EMC for this condenser. I'm going to want to move this a little bit, I think, just because I want to be able to do this somewhere where I can easily transfer things. So if we look at Project E, and also extended exchange, there's a lot of items. Anything on this page we are going to duplicate constantly if we can, because that's kind of the intended path. One of these things that's really good is these power flowers, other way around. These are like super powered energy collectors. Long time ago, in the before times, we would take these energy collectors, mark 1, 2, and 3, that's all we ever got, and you'd set up a very specific coordination of the blocks, and it looked like a flower. They look a little bit like this does. I know it's really small and hard to see, but basically the limitation on these things is that they cannot transfer EMC apart from blocks next to them. Now you could use relays. These would help with that kind of stuff, but usually you'd have a bunch of energy collectors connected to a condenser making whatever you want. And so that is effectively what we need to do. So let's get some of the stuff that we need. We're going to need a lot of Aeternalis fuel. So right now, let's go ahead and get that down. And I think what we'll do is I will set up a room or something for this. And we'll work on things there. So let's put this behind. It is self-contained, so it doesn't matter. And we can throw some Mobius fuel blocks and get a bunch of Aeternal's fuel. Fantastic. Now, we're going to take a diamond block, and we're going to make more dark matter. Because we need to be able to duplicate dark matter. So we put that in here, and we'll throw in some stuff like some Mobius fuel. And I want to be able to get more of these collectors as well. And we have one dark matter, and eventually we're going to make up to fading matter. So dark matter has all of what? 139,000 EMC. Fading matter is 261 trillion. It's a step up, but the kind of the basis of the idea of everything is you make something, you make the stuff at the tier. So for example, you make dark matter, you make the energy collector tier 2, mark 2, dark energy collector. You use that to make the dark power flower, and then you use all that stuff to get the next tier, which is red matter. In order to get the next tier, much like making the red matter, you need 3 dark matter and some Aeternal's fuel. To get the next one, which is magenta matter, you need Aeternal's fuel and 3 red matter. Next is 3 magenta matter, and so on. And that's how it goes the entire way. So it is just kind of make more EMC, profit. Now we can speed this up. We can use other items to get EMC. So if we just look, let's see, what do we have? What do we have the most of that's worthwhile? We have a lot of diamonds. We have a lot of emeralds. So diamonds are worth 8,000. Emeralds are worth 16. That could be good. And not everything is going to have EMC. That is important to remember. Skulls. Skulls are something we could use. Blaze rods, classic. Ender pearls, also classic. Let's just grab like 4 stacks of emeralds. And that's going to make dark matter. Quite a bit of it. And so we can then tell it to stop using the dark matter. And then we can get a piece of red matter. And say, make red matter instead. Obviously, it takes more. And we actually have enough to not only put that there, but if we get just a little bit more Aeternal's fuel, which we're going to want a good amount of that, we can make our first bit of magenta matter. And then we put that in there, and we hope that we can get to that point. So that is kind of the idea. Let's go ahead and get these quests. Sigil the Fast Miner, another frozen lake. These are blood magic things. We will get into that eventually. I've been putting that off, I'll be perfectly honest. So yeah. At this point, the other thing that we need to do is start making better energy collectors as well as these antimatter relays. So let's get another alchemical chest. And something else we can do is we could just make another energy condenser and then duplicate those. Takes a minute for that. So then we're going to need 2 obsidian, diamond, furnace, and glass. So all of that is pretty easy. Let's get back to ID, diamond, 2 obsidian. Alright, it is 5 items, 6 items. What am I missing? Oh, I've got 2 obsidian. That's what I'm missing. I'm missing the obvious. Okay, so it wants us to make an antimatter relay. These, so as it says, these transfer EMC from adjacent energy collectors to adjacent energy condensers. This way you can use 18 collectors instead of 6. You can also charge EMC items with them. I don't really plan on using the EMC items other than maybe like something that gives us infinite lava or something like that. But that's a if need be. But let's go ahead and make one of these guys. It should be nice and quick and easy. And then the antimatter relays plus. So did it say? Yeah, okay. Didn't say. So these cannot charge items, but in order to make the power flowers, we need the antimatter relays. So it is important to have those. We're going to go ahead and do that. And I don't really care about keeping an item sigil of suppression. Okay, apparently this is just giving us all the sigils ever. And what does it want us to do with blood magic? I know we have to mess around with blood magic a little bit, but eventually we'll have to make a sigil and it will probably automatically complete because we've gotten a bunch of them already. So something important to do is go ahead and duplicate this. We'll get a couple of these. We'll keep these in here as well. So let's just do something like this. Actually, let's just get a bigger chest. That will be better in the long run. So actually, do we have any chest upgrades? No. So let's just put an iron chest there for now. And it's not like we don't have a ton of iron. Constantly getting more. So we'll put this here. So the top row is going to be those two. And then we'll have dark matter, red matter, magenta matter, the basic energy, the basic matter relay, and then we will start working towards getting the power flowers. So actually need another row, because what we need to do is get a bunch of these. And then we can take 9 of these and make a compressed basic energy cell thing. And then we get 2 of these. And this will slowly get power from the energy collector behind. Let's go ahead and just... let's see, we need... Let's get more emeralds. We have plenty of emeralds. So it doesn't matter too much, but we need just 2 of these, plus... Okay, we don't have any more in there. And then we need a few of these. And to make our first power flower, we also need an energy EMC link. Now, this requires red matter. Easy enough. And then the EMC link requires 1 of each of the covalence dusts, and or 2 rather. So let's get this going. And then we should be able to I think it might have messed up. Nope, okay, it didn't. So we should be able to get this thing now. Just some stone. We'll go ahead and duplicate it. We'll put that up here though. And we should be able to put that there, those there, and make a basic power flower. And then we can put that in here. Now this makes 102 EMC per second, which is more than this. You know what? Let's just break this. It'll be easier. So the basic power flower, we can go ahead and duplicate. Make sure we always keep an item, because if we lose an item, we can't get it back. But then we can put this here, and we can tell it to start making dark matter, for example. And it will make a bunch of dark matter for us. And we don't have to do anything. Every second, this will give us however much EMC it provides, which is 102. And that's it. It'll just passively do this in the background. We should probably do this. So these are all the basics. That is the H&LS fuel. And I only want to keep one item of all of those in there. This is the red matter version. And basically we can get one of the previous tier of any of this stuff. So one of the basic energy tier, and we can improve it with the next matter. And so on and so forth. We can just constantly do that. So it looks like we don't actually need the energy links anymore. Unless we are making things from scratch. If we are upgrading a power flower, you don't need it. And it also only costs one energy collector. Huh. So that is interesting. So we only have to use the compressed energy collectors for those. That's nice. We'll keep this stuff here, but in general, that is going to be my life for a while. So I just, you know, grab a basic tier, go ahead and upgrade it, duplicate that, make sure that we have everything in here, and then continue on. So that is something I'm probably going to do a little bit off camera. I'm going to just kind of continue this. You guys don't need to see me make more power flowers. I don't know how high I'm going to go, but in general, it's going to give us a lot of resources, and as many resources as we want that have EMC. Not everything does, so that is kind of a problem. You can also see in the corner we now have like personal EMC thing. I don't know exactly what that's about. I don't really care to use it. I don't really use the tools as much as I like to use the condensers. And we can actually upgrade this condenser as well to a Mark II if I click the right button. And this is just more powerful. It does require 15 million FE, so it might not be something we do for a while, but we can make another energy condenser and duplicate that as well. And yeah, so I am going to wait around. Unfortunately, Wither Skulls do not have VMC, so I have to wait around for a couple more Wither Skulls, and then once we get another Nether Star, we can duplicate those. Next episode, I don't know what we're going to do. We might jump back into Mechanism, start working towards the Power Armor. We might continue working with something. I would love to, like, the reason we got into Project E was so that we could get into the Crystal Matrix stuff and making the Extreme Crafting Table. And just being able to use this to make a lot of stuff, and it is something that we can do, but not today. So it's unfortunately, I think, pulling up every recipe for crafting, so my game might actually crash. But that is going to be it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.